Good morning. I'm now at a, what do you call it, a petrol station, a gas station in rural Uzbekistan. Today I'm traveling from Samarkand. No. Today I'm traveling from Bukhara to Samarkand. And we're gonna make a stop in a place called Shahrisabz. Shahrisabz is famous because it was the birthplace of a guy called Timur or Timur. I'll tell you a little bit about him later. I think our driver has finished and we're ready to go. The roads are terrible, I'll show you. Like 80% of cars in Uzbekistan, our car is a white Chevy. Or maybe this one is Crypt, maybe not pure white. The car this morning from Bukhara took 5 hours, so it's now about 1:30 in the afternoon. But we're finally here in Shahrisabz. It's a nice park here, which I'm just gonna have a walk around and explore. But this place is famous for being the birthplace of a guy called Timur. The Europeans called him Tamerlane. And Tamerlane, I think they took it from Persian, means Tamer the lame. They called him that because he had a limp. Had some injury that he got as a young man in battle. So I'll call him Timur because calling someone Tamer the lame seems a bit disrespectful. Timur, he was undefeated in battle and he managed to expand his empire as far west as Turkey. At one point his empire included countries like Pakistan, parts of Delhi in India, most of Central Asia, Iraq, Iran, Syria. It was a huge empire. So he wanted to be the next Genghis Khan, basically. In Central Asia, in Uzbekistan, you'll find lots of buildings and monuments named after him, like Timur Square, Amir Temur Avenue, this kind of thing. But in the other countries that he attacked, he's not remembered so fondly. So he's a bit like Genghis Khan because of the cruelty that he inflicted on people who wouldn't surrender to him. Some places like Iraq and maybe Delhi, they don't have such fond memories of this guy. But anyway, today we're gonna have a look at his summer palace, which should be somewhere up ahead that I don't know if you can see. And I think there's a mausoleum here as well, among a few other things. So yeah, let's have a look. It's a little bit of a walk from where our car is, but here we are. Here's the statue of Timur. And the palace is behind, or the remains of the palace. Here at Ak-Saray, the remains of his summer palace, and wow, it's quite impressive. Some people come here to do their wedding photos. So the towers now are 30-something meters. And they would have been taller back in the day until the Khan of Bukhara came and destroyed them. Yeah, and I think it's the 16th century. But this is much bigger than any of the other buildings that I've seen in Uzbekistan. apparently there was an inscription at the top that said, if you want to see our greatness, if you want to challenge our greatness, just look at our buildings. And so that's the kind of thinking that they had when they were building this, that they wanted to show people how powerful Timur was. And this is just the gatehouse, I think. To say for 600 years, doesn't look that bad. I'm gonna head back now the way we came, because I think there's a tomb and a mosque and some other things that we should see. So. Now come to this complex, which is quite far from the it's on the other end of the park from Timur's palace. And apparently I think this the tomb of his son is here, and also what was supposed to be the tomb for Timur is here too. But this tree here, according to the inscription, was planted in 1370. So this tree is just as old as the palace. It's a 600-year-old tree. And I guess by the times this is a mosque. Well, it says mosque there, so yeah, I don't need to guess, it is a mosque. But just from afar, you could see this building and it was quite impressive. There's a tower behind that. So in Uzbekistan, when you see mosques, very often they have this kind of wooden columns. Although these are probably bigger than any of the others I've seen. I'm not sure if they're tombs, but this is supposed to be the mausoleum of Timur's his eldest and apparently his favorite son. This is his mausoleum. So 24, if I'm reading that right. It's very simple. Well, at the top it's quite, look at that, it's amazing. I was going to say it's very simple. I think it might have just been painted over. But that's the thing with the tombs, they usually don't have inscriptions, or the ones that I've seen, they rarely have inscriptions. See if we can find the tomb of Timur. So this is the outside of the mausoleum. We've got a mosque is here, and this is the mausoleum. All of these places seem to be very popular with the birds now. You can just always hear bird songs. And then there's something else over there. I guess it's another mosque in the distance. I'll visit that in a second, because that's on the way back to the car. So this might have been where Timur was intending to be buried. Salam. Temperature drops down here. That's quite an impressive tomb. Glory to Allah. I pray glory to Allah. Allah is great. There is no God but Allah. You see these inscriptions on the walls. You put all of this, or maybe you can't see. Let me see if I can show you. All of these walls are covered in inscriptions. I guess they're prayers. But the people buried in this tomb, the bodies they found in here, it's not Timur. They don't know who. So it's the tomb of the unknown strangers. But apparently somewhere in this room, I don't read Arabic, is the name of Timur. So that's who this was intended for. Be careful that I don't bump my head. It's a pretty nice place to visit because here there's no tickets. You don't have to pay for any tickets. And if you come to a place like this, there's barely any people. There's no queues, there's no lines. You can just hear the birds. So, I have to leave something in the donation box. I was actually wrong. You do need to buy a ticket. It's 30,000 soms. But I got charged on the way out, which was a bit confusing. But anyway, you do need to buy a ticket. But the price is quite reasonable. It's like $3. This is, I think it's called the Friday Mosque. And it dates from the same period as Timur. Some mausoleums over there that I'm going to take a look at in a minute. But one thing that I want to show you if I can, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, is the snow-capped mountains here. It's like the Uzbek Alps. So let me try zoom in. I think you can see that quite clearly. That's the tomb of Timur's eldest son, and then in the background of there you can maybe see snow-capped mountains. And I think this is a cemetery, a graveyard. But I'll show you inside some of the buildings if I can. Oh, this one's been restored. yeah, so that's it for Shahrisabz. It's definitely worth passing through, or if you're coming from Samarkand, possibly a day trip. But it took about 2.5 hours to see everything, which I think is yeah, quite reasonable. Now on to Samarkand. Is this bumpy. It's also really difficult to drink water. You try. It's really difficult. Now it's spilling out. Suddenly everything's looking orange. Green. There's a big difference it does at this point. We're only at like 100 kilometers away. I know it's going to be a bit windy here, but I had to ask the driver to stop because the mountains we're driving through, suddenly everything's so green. This guy just helped me. Gave me not far outside of Samarkand distance, but going up roads like these, you can see why it takes as long as it does. And I don't know if I can show you, if you'll see. You can go climbing through all of these. There's maybe a restaurant here, and in the distance over there you can see these snow-capped mountains. Maybe my camera can pick that up, but it's a shame I'm not here for more than 8 days. Otherwise I'd love to spend some more time in the mountains around here. Maybe go hiking. Fly here, you see some spectacular mountains. I don't know if they're all Uzbek mountains, but there's a lot of them. That's it for this trip from Bukhara to Samarkand. I think it was worth it to do it by car because you get to see the mountains, you get to see some of the other places that you might not see if you took the train or a bus with a tour group. And now I'm here in Samarkand in my Soviet-looking hotel. I did try and choose something more modern looking, but the most modern thing about this one is the bathroom. But it's alright, for 3 nights is $100, so can't complain. Anyway, see you next time.